Now, moving forward to talk about the government of Japan, we still see this common theme of old colliding with new. An old way of life, an old customs, old way of thinking colliding with new technological advances, a new way of thinking, new ways of life, new things to do, and then converging into one. We see that theme again with the government of Japan. The current government of Japan is a constitutional monarchy, which there are two main big players. There's not just a president, there's not just a king, there's not just a prime minister. There's two main players. There's an emperor of Japan, and a prime minister of Japan. The emperor of Japan has no government actions, has no government duties. He's mainly just a ceremonial, and he represents the old way of thinking, the old customs of Japan, the old Japan. Whereas a prime minister who's elected by the national diet, is what it's called, of Japan, and who is elected by the people, he is head of government. He is in charge of making and bettering the lives of Japanese civilians. The current government system, the constitutional monarchy, is, like I said, emperor and prime minister. The prime minister is broken down, and the government is broken down into three branches, like the United States of America government, and it is an executive, a legislative, and a judicial, just like it is in the U.S. The executive is made up of the prime minister and the cabinet helps the prime minister in his decisions. The executive is made up of, the legislative is made up of two branches, two chambers, the counselors and the representatives, which are elected by the people, and that's where sovereignty comes in, and the civilians of Japan get to speak their opinion and get to choose who represents them. And along with the judicial branch is made up of obviously judges, and those are appointed by the prime minister, the emperor. The emperor, his two ceremonial big jobs are to appoint the prime minister and appoint the chief justice, the head of the judicial system, the head of the judicial branch. Those are the emperor's two main ceremonial jobs, two main duties. Whereas the prime minister of Japan is head of government. He is the face, and his decisions, along with the cabinet and the other three branches, help better the lives of the people. Again, we see the constant theme throughout Japan of old versus new, and them colliding together. We have old with the emperor. He represents, ceremonial. He's a figure. He's a representation of what Japan and its people stand for. And then the prime minister is no less. He's still a representation, but he, more or less calls the shots. He makes the decisions. Him and his cabinet and the other three branches and the other government officials make the decisions. The emperor is the ceremonial side of things. But both join together, old and new, to better the lives of the Japanese civilians.